Hello, I am the Ranting Raven. How is everyone doing this evening? I hope everyone's well. I am well. The family's well. We're all well. So, tonight, it is dark outside. I have to adult the rest of the week, so I'm doing a little bit of pre-filming here. I have come up with a list of questions for a caregiver. A caregiver in the mental health field that has taken care of people who suffer from mental health disorders from A to Z, from 1 to 1 million. And they have been in the field for a pretty long time, long enough to know about the field, about, how to properly take care of people in any sort of capacity. So I'm going to read to you guys the questions, and then I'm going to read to you the answers and give you a little bit of commentary. So the first question that I have come up with is, as a caregiver, what does mental health mean to you? The answer was the ability to process and handle emotions in a way that isn't self-detrimental. Yes. Just yes. Learning how to deal with your mental health and deal with somebody else's mental health is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Is a hard thing to know how to do. Because if you can't handle your own mental health, there's no way you're going to be able to handle anybody else's. So you have to mentally be okay before you can take care of somebody that suffers from a mental health issue. The next question is a little more in depth. And it was a very short but meaningful answer. It says, what is the hardest thing about caring for someone with mental health issues in any capacity? And the answer that I got was a sudden loss after so many wins. And I think that speaks more than anything else. That can speak more words than I have, honestly. That just hit home with me. I'll flip the page here. So the next question I had was more for people outside of being a caregiver in any capacity. And the question was, what can we do to help our caregivers in the mental health field? And the answer was, be understanding about the toll it takes on the caregivers. That is huge. That is huge. Because it not only takes a physical toll on you, it takes a mental one too. Trying to understand what that person you're caring for is going through is big. And then if you come home and your spouse or your kids or your mom or your dad is just, oh, well, don't pay much attention to it and don't do a check on you, that's not okay. We need to check on our caregivers as much as we need to check on our individuals that they take care of. The next one is kind of a two-part answer. And the question is, does caring for someone that has mental health issues become easier over time? They said yes and no. The yes part of it is learning to care for them and for yourself safely to where that person is not going to harm you. You are not going to harm them. That you are not going to let them harm their self. That's the easy part. That's the part that gets easier over time. Usually because it's repetitive. The no part of that is dealing with any sort of sudden loss after so many ups. Having your individual be doing so good, and then basically falling off the wagon. And that can be sliding back into a depression. That can be not listening. That can be not taking your medicine, not helping themselves. There's different forms of that. And that part I don't think gets easier. So I agree with him on that. That it is a yes and no answer. The last question I had for them was, what advice would you give to someone trying to enter the mental health field? Now remember, when I say the mental health field, I am saying anyone that has any sort of mental health issue, whether it's autism, Asperger's, I can never say that word correctly, and I'm so sorry. Depression, anxiety, just schizophrenia, anything like that. Anything that falls under the mental health category, and then some. And the person that I did this interview with gave me a very heartfelt, honest, and just downright truthful answer to this question. And their answer was, be able to look at yourself. You need to look at yourself first. If you're thinking about doing this for a living, and you're thinking about helping people like this for a living, look at yourself first. This field isn't for everybody. If it's not right for you, if you get in and you're working with them and you say, hey, I can't do this. I don't have the heart to deal with this. It hurts me entirely too much to be able to do it. Leave. Leave immediately. Because there's a few things that I have learned. Is that people stay because it's a paycheck. And they don't pay attention. And they don't care. Well, the people that you're caring for care. And it's harder on them if you stay and you don't care. If you stay and you just go through the motions and you're not really doing anything to help them. It's harder on them. It's harder on them to understand why you just up and left one day after they have formed a bond with you. It really is. To some of them, their caregivers are like their best friends. They talk to them about things. They share things with them, personal, that they probably wouldn't share with anybody else. And then for you to just not care about it, or just up and leave, or not pay attention to them, that can be detrimental. And I mean detrimental to somebody. And it will cause them to not be able to form a bond with anyone else. Trust goes out the window. And a big part of all of this is trust. Those were my questions for my caregiver. Now, there's going to be at least 2 more videos coming in the next couple days, maybe a week, from different points of view. So the first one is the caregiver point of view, which is the one we just did. And the next 2, I haven't decided what orders they're going in, will be from different points of view on that aspect too. So, I just want everybody to be okay. Call your friends, call your family, call your mama, call your daddy, call whoever you need to call, and have a good night. Start a conversation. We'll see you guys again in a few days.